Well, folks, this is exactly what Vancouver Canucks fans wanted to see. Because earlier this morning it was posted about by the Canucks Twitter account that Vancouver has recalled Victor Mancini from the Abbotsford Canucks. Now, there had to be some subsequent moves to allow this to happen, and we'll get into that, but when it comes to Victor Mancini, a lot of folks were disappointed 2 days ago to see him get sent down to the Abbotsford Canucks and to not be included on Vancouver's opening night roster. I don't want to say there was like a panic in the fan base about this, but there were some folks that were like, okay, why are some of these other guys up? Why is Mancini not chosen here? He was good, he was moving, he was making plays in the preseason. This is the kind of guy the Canucks could benefit from having as a third pairing option, just adding some offense there. He was good. Why they're not giving him his chance? And really the answer lies in waiver eligibility. Mancini did not need waivers to get sent down. Some of the other guys that made the roster, like Arshdeep Bains, for example, they did. So Vancouver was very strategic in the way that they selected who would be on the opening night roster Vancouver submitted earlier yesterday. But subsequent to the Victor Mancini calling up, he had Patrick Allvin announcing today that Pierre-Olivier Joseph was placed on the IR. Retroactive to September 30th. So this makes a lot of sense. One guy out, one guy in. Technically, the Joseph retroactive IR placement gives Vancouver the spot for Victor Mancini to get called up. And this makes sense too. A lot of folks were saying, yeah, like Mancini would be the first guy to get called up if the Canucks had a defenseman injury. If there was a spot open on the blue line, Mancini would be there and then Villander would be next up. P.O. Joseph, I wasn't really the most impressed with him throughout the preseason, but then again, we all kind of thought that he was not going to be a mainstay guy anyway. He would just be there to be the seventh defenseman in practice and in the press box. You wanted to give your AHL team some support as well, and you wanted to give your younger guys some actual playing time. P.O. Joseph you can afford to have in the press box for half a season. Victor Mancini, you probably don't want to do that. So with this recall, you now have probably an option to have Mancini in the lineup come Vancouver's first game of the regular season against Calgary. But with that in mind, that also does play into what we heard heading into the regular season, how Vancouver doesn't necessarily want to have the same 6 guys in every single night. They would prefer to get a rotation in there with the younger defensemen that they have available to them. This is why, if you take a look at Vancouver's supposed starting night lineup with defensive pairings, you've got the same top 4 that we were all expecting: Hughes, Hronek, Pettersson, Myers. But then on the third pair, you've got Derek Forbort. He made the team, scored a nice goal in the preseason against the same Calgary Flames, and the Canucks do value his leadership. But you have Elias Niels Pettersson there on the third pair right D spot. You'll probably see Victor Mancini rotate in and out with Pettersson, assuming the roster stays the way it is over the next few games or so. Not that Elias Pettersson isn't good enough to hold his own, but this is just kind of the way Vancouver might want to start things out. And if things continue where Elias Pettersson, let's say, outperforms Derek Forbort, and Vancouver management decides that Elias Pettersson doesn't really need Forbort's bodyguard qualities around him because Elias Pettersson has some snarl himself. If they think he can defend himself properly, then maybe there comes a time where Forbort comes out, Elias Pettersson takes his spot, and then Mancini gets the open spot on the right side. So this is where we start to see potential flexibility for the Vancouver Canucks, and I'd think towards the middle part of the season, assuming everybody progresses in the ways that Vancouver management wants them to, best case scenario, Forbort's not getting played. You're having Elias Pettersson and Mancini as a third pair, a strong third pair at that, one that will hopefully, be able to take away some of the minutes from Tyler Myers and Marcus Pettersson. Although Marcus Pettersson is very solid defensively, so he can stay. Tyler Myers, maybe, if he gets outplayed a little bit, then that's probably fine, I would say. Heck, have Marcus Pettersson and Victor Mancini together. Have that offensive touch from Mancini be placed onto a line with a super defensively stout Marcus Pettersson, and then have Elias Pettersson and Myers. There you go, problem solved. Although we probably will have to see the Canucks work to that. They can't just do that right away, especially with how this is a very young season and these guys are essentially brand new into the league. Now, with that in mind, let's head over to some of the updates with the Canucks and their actual lines. Brendan Batchelor tweeted out Tuesday's Canucks practice lines. You had the same defense core that we just spoke about. Mancini was the extra. Absent was Teddy Bluger. But the forward lines went as follows. You had DeBrusk with EP40 and Brock Besser. Arshdeep Bains skating with Filipino and Connor Garland. Evander Kane with Braden Coots and Lekaramaki. And Drew O'Connor with Rotu and Sherwood. So pretty similar to what we had seen to end out the preseason period for Vancouver. Braden Coots with Lekaramaki, it seems like these guys made the team properly and they're going to be utilized. Arshdeep Bains is being put into a top 6 role here if you just go by the order. And a lot of folks would go out there and say that this is not a good idea. I don't know, man. I've been a lot more optimistic on Bains. Like, I understand that he hasn't buried his chances and he needs to start producing, but I think just watching the way he moves out there and what he does off the puck, I like him as a puck retrieving, hard against the boards, speedy option. I don't think that he's going to tear the roof down with his point production, but I don't know. I think he actually brings some quality to the Canucks forward core that not a lot of people can bring. He's got to start producing, though. Like, that is the bottom line. He needs to get up on there on the board. He had a lot of production in the AHL. He was super useful with Sasson and Linus Karlsson. We know that the potential is there. It's just he's got to really start showing it at the National Hockey League level. He's got, like, what, 1 assist in however many games he's played? Preseason, he scored a little bit more, but he needs to get more regular season production. And if he can't do that in the top 6 of Vancouver, then at some point something's got to give, and you're going to have to probably see Evander Kane retake that top spot in the top 6. But hey, he's playing with Garland and Hedl, so that's going to be really interesting to pay attention to. Speaking out about Teddy Bluger, this is what Patrick Allvin said. He expects Bluger to be out another week after being hurt in the preseason versus Edmonton. P.O. Joseph has been ruled out for the opener on Thursday, and that's why he was placed on the retroactive IR. So, I'm kind of thinking, you know, when P.O. Joseph comes back, do we see Mancini get sent down again? Probably, right? He's waiver exempt. This might just be the sign of the times as to what's going to come, either that or if P.O. Joseph is hurt longer, then maybe Mancini sticks around a little bit longer. That waiver eligibility factor is going to be such a big hurdle to jump over if you are Victor Mancini. It was a little easier for Coots, honestly, because with the injury to Niels Höglander and the fact that Coots couldn't go to the AHL, it becomes a lot more justifiable to keep him up, especially since he's been that good. But either way, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about these Canucks roster moves. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you did not, then hey, the dislike button is down there for you as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below because comments help out with the algorithm. I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed this video. 9 and bye.